If you want to be, or you already are, a motion designer, then learning After Effects and Cinema 4D can be very important. But it's only really half the battle. So in this video, I want to share with you the one thing that you need to know as a motion designer to be successful in this industry. The most important thing is growing your network. Now, it might sound pretty cringy. I know it's really hard if you go to a networking event, you don't know anyone, you have to walk into the room and you have to talk to people. It can feel a little bit gross and a little bit cringy at times, and I totally get that. But today I want to share with you some of my top tips for networking that won't make it feel cringy at all. Outside of learning the technical skills, growing my network has had the biggest impact on my career. When I went freelance, I kept in touch with some of the producers and creative directors I worked with at Google. And this really helped me when I first started freelancing, because those producers and creative directors would help me by giving me jobs when I was freelance. So I do recommend that if you're currently in a full-time job, that you keep in touch with any producers or freelance creative directors or anything like that when they leave or when they come in for different days to work with you. If you build a relationship with them over time and stay in touch, they'll most definitely share work with you when you're freelance in the future. Starting the Motion Hatch podcast helped me to grow my network substantially because I had an excuse to reach out to people and ask them to be a guest on the podcast. So think about a way that you could do some type of content where you invite guests on. This can be a great way to network because you have an excuse to contact people who you normally wouldn't have access to. You can also ask previous guests on your show or on your blog or in your interviews or anything like that who they would think would be a good fit in the future. And you can ask them to introduce you to future guests. So this is a great way to grow your network, and also you're offering value to others, which is really important. And I'll explain more about that later. Another key point in my career, which really helped me to grow my network and get more clients, was through a project called Bingamation. Now, I reached out to 90 animators and motion designers, and I asked them if they wanted to collaborate with me on a project where they would animate a short GIF based on a bingo call. So this was just for fun, and it was really nice to be able to build a project together with lots of motion designers. I probably wouldn't recommend that you do 90 animations for your project because it was quite a big project, and it actually ended up taking me over 4 years to complete because I had to wait for everyone to submit their bingo calls and things like that. But I'm really, really glad that I did this personal project and collaborated with all of these designers and animators. Because I did that, they would regularly refer me for jobs, and then I would refer them in turn, and so on. That went on and on. So I got more and more clients just through being connected with lots of motion designers and animators. So if you can think of a project that you could do that would be a collaboration with some other motion designers and animators, this can really help you to grow your network. It also gives you an excuse to reach out to other motion designers and animators. It can feel less awkward than just reaching out randomly with not really a reason why you're reaching out to them. So I definitely recommend thinking of personal projects and collaborations where maybe you could get some others involved. Let me know if you've got any ideas below and share them in the comments. Now I want to go through some easy ways that will help you to grow your network. The first tip I have for you is to put time in your calendar for when you're going to reach out to people and when you're going to grow your network. So this might be time in your calendar for an event, for example. It could be time in your calendar to do some outreach to other motion designers to say, hey. It could be time in your calendar to just go on social media and comment on other people's posts. It is really important to be intentional about putting time into this, because if you do that, you're more likely to see results. Whereas if you think, I'll just get to it one day, you're probably not going to get to it.
Has it really been 10 years?
So I recommend marking a weekly recurring task on your calendar to find ways to network with other people in the industry. Another really important thing is when you're networking or reaching out to people is try and offer some value to them. Think about how you might help them instead of what they can give you. This just really helps you to change your mindset, and it can help you come across in a much better way. If you're trying to be helpful to other people, then of course they're going to want to help you in return. So it works really well, and it's really, really easy to do this. Just think about, how can I help this other person? And usually something will come up, even if it's just helping them by writing a nice comment on their social media post or giving them some feedback on their website or show reel. Obviously make sure that they want to receive this feedback, but I think this could be a good way to make connections and to help other people. I feel like having a mindset of wanting to help others will just naturally help you to think of ways that you can do that over time. So I recommend that you bear this in mind when you're networking. And also it makes it feel a little less cringy because you're not just out there for yourself, you're trying to help other people as well. One quick way that you can network with other motion designers is just reach out to them online and ask them if they want a quick virtual coffee chat. I recommend that you do this at least once a week, and I promise you, you're definitely going to get some responses. If you can't think of any way to offer any value to them during the conversation, maybe you can just even recommend this YouTube channel to them. That would help us, but it will also help them because they're going to be excited about learning about the business side of motion design. So hey, if someone recommended you to this channel, do pop a comment below because I'd love to see if some of you are out there doing this challenge. Another way to reach out to different motion designers and animators is to join a community where they already are. This is really great because usually it's through a course or something like that. We have communities connected to all of our courses, which means it's really easy to connect and share interests with other people because you're doing the same course together. So it's easy to reach out to them and start discussing about the course and building a relationship that way. So I definitely recommend trying to join some different communities out there in the industry. And you're always welcome to come and join one of our courses. We'll leave all the links below this video in the description. Another thing you can do to grow your network is when you're traveling, you could put on social media that you're going to a new place and you would love to meet any motion designers or animators in that area. This is really nice because you have an excuse that you're going there and you've never been there before. So maybe they could show you around a bit, or you could just have a quick coffee chat. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Probably one of the best ways to grow your network is to meet up in person. One of the ways you can do that is to go to a motion design event or a conference, or if there isn't a motion design event in your area, you could start your own. You could just meet up with a friend at a cafe or at a bar, and it doesn't have to be a big deal right away. You can start to invite other motion designers over time. So I do recommend that you do this, and I know it can be a little bit scary, but it will help you in the long run. And also you're helping other people and you're giving value to them, which remember I said was really, really important. As a motion designer or animator, growing your network is really, really important. But I want to tell you about the next most important skill that you need to know, and that is how to price your work. If you want to learn how to price your work, then you should watch this video next, where I talk about how I raise my rates every single year as a motion designer. And I'll see you next time for more tips and advice around the business side of design and animation.